The bills have passed through the House of Representatives and now setting up final votes in the Senate and signatures from the president in a matter of just days. Also, a stimulus package update and the latest remarks out of Joe Manchin. We have a lot to talk about once again in this video, so let's get into this right away. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that is changing very rapidly. I want to make sure that you're staying tuned with everything going on, especially these multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages and all of the other changes that are happening out there right now, as I want to make sure that we're getting you as much money and benefits that we possibly can as a result of all of these massive changes and bills that are going down. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Subscribe down below. It's totally free, and let's get into this right away. And thank you so much for your support. All right, so again, late last night, the House of Representatives was back at it, passing a couple very, very important bills. Why they wait until so late into the evening to pass bills, I'm not really sure, but this is typically what they do. And once again, late last night, they were back at it, passing a couple more bills that are now on to the Senate. So let's quickly talk through what these bills are, and then we will talk about the latest stimulus package update and the remarks out of Joe Manchin. And this is all very important to watch because it is all so closely correlated with one another. All right, so first off, one of the bills that the House of Representatives passed last night was a procedural vote on raising the debt ceiling. This is very, very important because, as we know, the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, has already mentioned that the Treasury would be completely out of money by next week, the 15th of December or thereabouts, give or take a couple days. Well, that's coming up quick here, and if they didn't do that, the Treasury and or the federal government could potentially be defaulting on some of the obligations that they have. So this is very important. So now the House of Representatives passed this procedural vote that basically sets up the stage that allows Democrats to raise the debt ceiling all by themselves without bipartisan support from Republicans. However, this is a procedural vote that actually passed 222 over 212. So it passed, with plenty of votes there. Now this moves on to the Senate where it does need 60 votes in order to continue. But we already do know, according to Mitch McConnell, he was out yesterday and he mentioned that it's likely that Republicans will back this and that they will certainly get the 60 votes that they need. However, this is not the end of the voting. Now it goes back once again, and they will actually be voting on the official thing where it needs to pass through the House and then pass through the Senate with just 50 votes, and then the tie-breaking vote from the vice president. So this is basically just setting up the stage and allowing them to have the privileges of this one-time event where they can pass this through in a very swift manner, Democrats on a partisan basis, to get the debt ceiling raised. Now here's what they're likely going to do. They're likely going to raise the debt ceiling to over $30 trillion. Yes, trillion, not billion, $1 trillion. So they'll likely raise it by about $2 trillion, and that'll put it about over $30 trillion as far as the national debt. So, wow, that's a lot of money we're talking about, right? So anyway, this should all be happening here very, very soon. In fact, this week, all of this should be happening. So we'll have to watch that very closely as well, as this is going to be very important and critical going forward here over the coming days, as we have those warnings out of the Treasury Secretary. Also, they passed another bill last night as well. And again, this is very important to watch as well because all of this is highly correlated to what Congress is currently doing, and it's all correlated to the stimulus package, otherwise known as the reconciliation bill that they're currently working on. Now, this is actually the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. This one has been in Congress for quite a few weeks now, and they've been going back and forth about it. Well, it finally passed through the House last night, and it authorizes about $770 billion for defense and the Pentagon, things like this. So again, this is great that they're finally getting these things done, because here's the thing. As we've known, coming into December, during the few weeks that they want to get all this stuff done, they've had some major issues on their plate. Last week, it was the continuing resolution to keep the federal government with the lights on. Okay, that's done and over with until mid-February. Now we have the debt ceiling issue. That's coming up next week, and they should get that done probably this week. We have the NDAA, which I'm talking about right now. Again, this one they will have done probably this week again. These were the three major issues that they had in front of them, and along with the stimulus package. So the reason that this is so important is because this paves the way for Chuck Schumer to continue moving forward on his agenda to actually get the reconciliation bill stimulus package done by his Christmas Day deadline. So these are some of the major issues they had to get out of the way. These were like major hurdles, major roadblocks that they had to move before they could actually move forward with the actual stimulus package. Which, by the way, in case you care, the NDAA did pass through the House of Representatives, 363 over 70. So it passed by a long shot, right? So no problem there at all. So now, all of this moves on to the Senate. Again, they should be passing this here through the Senate sometime very soon, possibly today, sometime this week. All of this should be a done deal. And then the president will take it and sign it into law, and it'll be a done deal, and we can forget about these. All right, so this sets up the stage for the stimulus package. Now, don't get me wrong. They've been working on the stimulus package. In fact, over the last few days here, last week and into this week so far, they've been holding private meetings with the Senate parliamentarian, talking about a variety of different provisions within the stimulus package. They've been holding those private meetings with her and hammering out what can actually be included, what needs to be removed, and what are the other restrictions with the reconciliation bill. So most of those talks should have wrapped up yesterday, and there will be likely more talks going on with the Senate parliamentarian today and on with the Republicans and everybody else. But these talks mostly wrapped up yesterday. Monday and Tuesday were the most important ones. All right, so let's talk about the stimulus package and what's going on now with the stimulus package and some of the remarks out of Joe Manchin. Well, as I mentioned, all of these bills that are being passed right now through the House, through the Senate, getting done, off the table, out of the way, this is setting the stage for the final passage of the stimulus package, which we've been waiting for so long now, 7 months now and counting, that we continue to wait for this thing. However, Joe Manchin was out again late last night, and, well, yesterday evening, he was out saying some different things about the stimulus package. And he is saying that the larger concern right now is actually this inflation. The massive inflation that we're dealing with right now is actually a larger concern than actually passing through this Build Back Better agenda, which is the stimulus package. Now, this stimulus package is coming in. I've seen a couple recent price tags on this thing. $2.2 trillion, and some people and some reports are saying $2.4 trillion. And just remember, about, what was it, a month and a half ago or so? About a month ago, maybe, month and a half ago or so, it was sitting at about 1.75. So it's gone up another $7 trillion or so. You know, $6 to $7 trillion just in the last month and a half or so. So, sorry, not trillion, billion. So like $600 to $700 billion in just the last, let's just call it a month or so. So as you can see, this thing continues to rage on here, and that's kind of getting outside the parameters of what a lot of people in Congress are actually going to support, including Joe Manchin, where he has drawn the top line at about $1.5 trillion. But this is what's pretty much going on right now is Joe Manchin is saying, hey, we've got to get this inflation under grips before we can pass another major spending bill right now with another, multi-trillion-dollar package. We need to hammer out this inflation. The inflation is what is getting everybody right now. And realistically, it's kind of a bad deal, right? To give you a personal example, I was getting an estimate on something back in the summer, so it wasn't even that long ago, just a few months ago. I got an estimate on this item, and they came in at $1,600, which I wasn't too excited about, but I thought, I guess if I have to do it for $1,600, I guess I can do that. I got another estimate just a couple days ago, $2,400 now, and I thought, there's no way. I'm not doing that. Not a chance. It's not happening. So my point is, in just the last few months here, the price went from $1,600 up to $2,400. And I was feeling a little bit uneasy at 16, and I thought, no, I'm not really good. That's kind of why I was dragging my feet and why I didn't move forward. And now we're at 24, and I thought, not a chance. It's not happening. I'm not interested. No thanks. I'll see you in a couple years, maybe, if the price comes down. But even then, I'm thinking, no thanks, not interested anymore. So, wow, things are really going on and really going up in price very, very fast right now. But anyway, so Chuck Schumer still has plans to get this package done by Christmas. And the deal is, now that we have these other bills out of the way here and should be passed through the Senate in really short order here, this just means that basically Congress has not much on their plate between now and the Christmas timeline as far as when they want to get this package done. Now remember, the House of Representatives has already extended their calendar through next week as well. They were supposed to be leaving at the end of this week on their long vacation through the end of the year. Well, they extended their actually calendar through the end of next week as well, and the Senate has also extended through the end of the following week. So right up until the 24th, the Senate has actually extended their calendar as well. So this is very important to continue watching this because the Senate is the one that we need to watch very, very closely. And at any given point, remember, they could add anything into this stimulus package. So this is some very important stuff that's going on right now that we need to watch very, very closely. So anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. It's nice that these bills are finally passed through, but it's all highly correlated, which is why we have to remember that this is going to impact the trajectory and the actual passing of the stimulus package. Without these other bills done, it's going to be very hard for them to get the stimulus package passed through, right? So, pretty much anything could be happening here over the coming days, later today, throughout the days, throughout this week, next week, the next week after that. Just a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. This all happened late last night in those votes out of the House of Representatives, and we'll have to see what happens today out of the Senate. Either way, I'm here for you every single day as your one and only daily advocate, with all of the honest, accurate, and reliable information that I find with all of my research. I bring it back in these short videos to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'm going to get back to the research and see what else is going on out there as of today so far, and I'll be back a little bit later with another update with, I promise you, there will be some more very important information going on. So hit that subscribe button, share the video, and go back and check out some of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next one.